Well, welcome everyone. We are happy and excited to have you join us this evening for the MiSTEM Region 2 Educator of the Year Recognition Banquet. But first, to set the mood, I'm going to tell a joke, but it's important because it's actually a STEM joke. Feel free to shout out an answer. Why was it thought that the thermometer is smarter than a graduated cylinder? Anyone? Why was the thermometer thought to be smarter than the graduated cylinder? Who said that? Are you reading my script? Man, all right. Well, we're going to move on then. Excellent. If I had an award, I'd give you an award. I do have a little bit of housekeeping. So you will all notice that you have a little tag on here. And there's a line in here that says, like butternut squash for me. If you can try and match that up, or actually we need you to match that up with the tag in front of you if that is what you want. Otherwise, you can of course trade with someone else at your table. But the number of dishes that were made matches the number of cards based out there. So if you get that to line and match up, that'd be perfect. Great, awesome. All right, so as we all know, this event and banquet would not be possible without our educators and also without our sponsors, who we definitely would like to give a shout out to. Please stand when called, and for the rest of us, heartily applaud. The awesome space and catering by the Kensington Hotel team. Actually, I think they all are getting ready, but let's give them a hand. The MiSTEM Network and the Governor's Appointed Advisory Council. Name them there. WCC, Washtenaw Community College, for their partnership in the entire STEAM Week activities, culminating in this wonderful event. In addition to WCC, also the WCC Foundation, for their generous donations that made the STEAM Week student scholarships possible. And over the last 3 years, we have a couple folks we want to call out because of their invaluable support and contributions: Michigan Aerospace and Enbridge. The WCC STEAM Week team of Amy Carpenter and Susan Dental, and also their team. Yes. And last but not least, the WCC Campus Explore team of Steve Bloomfield and his team. Thank you again. So now to why we are here. As we all know, and the data proves, education is one of the main predictors of success in life, especially to climb the economic ladder. An effective educator helps contribute to this success. However, educators today face a tough environment between getting and maintaining students' attention, creating relevant and captivating content, meeting parents' multiple, sometimes diverging demands, meeting the demands of a changing global workforce and society, existing within frameworks of competition and markets, dealing with economic divisions and decreasing financial support for areas of highest need. I mean, this list can go on, right? And I can just keep going on. But there's one other thing that you all have had to factor in for the last 2 years, this thing called COVID. So yes, working in education has incredible challenges, but we know that is one of the most crucial areas one could work. Learning is also a social endeavor, one that requires multiple inputs and interactions. Educators are key facilitators of these inputs and interactions. As a result, all educators are special and play a critical role in our communities, especially for creating our future workforce. We are specifically honoring some tonight, but every single educator is needed, essential, and valued. You might be wondering how the awardees are nominated and selected. We utilize an open nomination process. Peers, supervisors, students, parents, community members are able to submit candidates. Once nominated, the nominees completes an application for consideration. Next, a selection committee decides on our awardees. The committee was composed of a nonprofit owner, a recent public school graduate, former educators and current educators, and also to note that no one on the committee is connected with any of the applicants in any way. The selection committee is chaired by Tom Wilson, who's the founder and director of Washtenaw Promise. Can I have Tim and his committee? Are they here? Can they stand up for us, please? Awesome. Great. Thank you. He's going to hate me for this too, but I also would like to give a round of applause to Scott Heaster. Scott Heaster? Scott, where are you? Yay, all right. As we all know, Scott had a crew to help pull this initiative off, but Scott always does much more and hides from taking credit. We would now like to have welcome remarks from three of our esteemed attendees, Dr. Rose Belanca from WCC, Senator Jeff Irwin, and the Executive Director of MiSTEM Network, Megan Schwaben. First, Dr. Rose Belanca. 1 second. I get to do an intro. Dr. Rose Belanca is the fourth president and CEO to lead Washtenaw Community College, which serves more than 100,000 students and community members a year and employs over 1,500 full and part-time employees. Dr. Belanca has over 20 years of leadership in higher education, and under her leadership, WCC has maintained steady college enrollment during a period of national decline. She has implemented numerous partnerships with K-12 schools, post-secondary institutions, and businesses, along with innovations in teaching and student services to respond proactively to the disruptive forces in higher education and workforce development. Please welcome Dr. Belanca.
Thank you, Rich. Well, hello, everyone. It is so good to see you. And thank you, each and every one of you, for your contributions to STEM and to our growth and development of our partners and our students and really the future of our world. So thank you. This is the beginning for many of you, the beginning of a wonderful journey. And I really want to thank those of you that have led the way, all of the faculty, the staff, the teachers, the advisors along the way, the partners, our business partners. Thank you. Thank you for making this all possible. I do have some prepared remarks, but it's hard for me to stick to those because I like to just talk to you. But I will do my job here. This evening, we are especially honored to thank our partners, especially Megan Schwaben. Megan, where are you? I don't think I've met you personally. Schwaben? Schwaben. Got it. Okay, Schwaben, whom we will be hearing from next, and Scott Heaster, that I do know. We just met Scott. For your dedication to K-12 STEM education and for partnering with Washtenaw Community College to help develop career exploration programs and help support high-quality STEM experiences. I'd like to recognize our WCC STEM rock stars for all you do to encourage and educate our future scientists and engineers. Specifically, I'd like to recognize Dr. Victor Vega, the Dean of our, where are you? You can stand. Well, stand, Dr. Vega. Dean, he's the Dean of our Math, Science, and Engineering Technology program, and someone who actually initiated this long ago and who has been really the heartbeat of this program, and I mean that, and that's Susan Dentel. Susan leads our STEM Scholar and Outreach programs, and of course, none of us could do it alone, and along with her is Amy Carpenter, and Amy was responsible for every detail of STEAM Week, so thank you so much, Amy. Great job. I'd also like to recognize Executive Vice President for Instruction and Academic Affairs, Dr. Kimberly Hearns, for all you've done. Come on, you guys. This is kind of like a way to get to know each other, right? As well as our dedicated faculty and staff that are with us today. A faculty and staff from WCC, could you stand? Thank you. Thank you. Your commitment to education and to a solid STEM education for our students is vital. And I'd also like to thank our elected officials who advocate for STEM education. State Senator Jeff Irwin, before I just have to say some things, yes, this senator is behind education all the way. And I really want to make mention of that because any programs that we do, any time that we have an initiative that promotes education, he's always there to not only support it verbally, but to support it by getting us grant dollars, by initiating partnerships. And so, Senator Irwin, thank you so much. And he'll be up here, so. And another U.S. Senator that's always an advocate for STEM education is Senator Gary Peters, and unfortunately, U.S. Senator Gary Peters. And he's represented tonight by Chris Mattis, who is the regional director. Chris, could you thank Senator Peters for us? We're also joined tonight by many area school superintendents. Could you please stand so we could acknowledge you? Can't do this alone. We're all partners. Thank you. Thank you. And last but not least, the reason we've gathered here tonight is to honor and celebrate our extraordinary MiSTEM Educators of the Year and our scholarship and award recipients. Welcome to all of you, and a big congratulations. We're so very, very proud of you. Thank you to your families for the support that they've given to you and your support systems, any support systems you may have had to encourage you along the way. STEM education, as we just heard from Mr. Chang, is the cornerstone of our quickly evolving 21st century workforce. It's where all the jobs are. That is our heartbeat. So many of the jobs of the future will require scientists and engineers. And I look forward to seeing you on that forefront. Our governor has said that Michigan needs to fill an additional 15,000 auto mobility jobs, that's STEM too, every year until 2024 to meet demand. That's just one sector. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, cybersecurity jobs will be growing at a much faster than average pace of 33% through 2030, and the need to add over 16,000 jobs annually. And the need for healthcare professionals. That is an ongoing need. It's huge in Michigan. 4 out of the top 10 growth areas in the state is in health. And these and so many other jobs require a solid foundation of STEM education. And your dedication and preparation and our partnership in preparing the next generation of workers for today is critical for tomorrow. And that doesn't go unnoticed. So tonight, we're culminating in a very amazing week highlighting the many types of STEM careers and education that WCC offers and prepares students for them. Please accept my sincere thanks and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Blanca. Next up, we're going to hear from Senator Jeff Irwin. For some background, Senator Jeff Irwin represents Michigan's 18th Senate District and has education as a top priority. Senator Irwin believes that providing a quality, free public education is the most important priority in Michigan government. He also believes that the goal of education is to foster happy and healthy people who know how to learn and like doing it. His initiatives aim to improve education from early childhood through higher education by increasing funding, respecting educators, and building in support for children facing obstacles from trauma to disability. In the State House, he proposed legislation and fought for increased investment in education from early childhood through K through 12 and higher education, and he continues the fight in the state Senate. Please welcome Senator Irwin.
Thanks, Rich, and thank you all for being here. It's an honor to be able to join you again. Thank you to all the award winners. Thank you to all the STEM educators. Thank you to Dr. Heister for inviting me to be a part of this again. It's genuinely an honor because it's true. I do believe the best thing we've ever done as a nation is make sure that a free, quality public education is available to every child. And we've still got a ways to go on that, but I think that it's important that we tout our successes, and that's what tonight is about. So, before I talk a little bit about STEM education and why I think it's so important, which is what Scott asked me to come and talk about, I wanted just to talk a little bit about education here in the state of Michigan and to let you know that the state of Michigan thanks you. The state of Michigan values the work that you're doing, and we value it even though sometimes it doesn't feel that way with what you're getting from Lansing. It seems like every year you're being asked to do more with less. It seems like more requirements, more paperwork is piled on, and less resources are coming to your school. And I want you to know that there are those of us in Lansing who are fighting to change that reality. There are those of us in Lansing who know that schools today are getting 25% less money than they were 15 or 20 years ago in inflation-adjusted dollars, and that has to change. But I'm also here to report that there are some good things happening right now. Just in the most recent budget that we passed, we finally, for the first time since 1994, have equalized base funding for schools across the state of Michigan. That's a big deal to students that are in economically disadvantaged areas. That's a big deal to school districts that have been struggling to make budgets with less money than their neighbors. And we've got more good news hopefully on the horizon. And I think that now is a crucial time for that. I don't think I need to say this. Dr. Rose Blanca already said it, but it's been a tough couple years. It's been a really, really tough couple years. And districts are struggling to retain great educators, and they're particularly struggling to retain great educators in the area of these STEM fields. Because what we're asking folks to do is we're asking folks with technical expertise, folks who could go out in the private sector and make more money and get better benefits. It used to be that public education at least provided better benefits, but that's not even true anymore. We're asking those folks, we're asking you to set aside those opportunities for yourselves and your families to educate the next generation. And so that's why it's so important that we invest more to attract and retain the best teachers. And that's why I'm happy to report that in the governor's executive recommendation, there's a pretty substantial $1.5 billion investment planned to give bonuses to teachers, $2,000 in this first year, and then going all the way up to $4,000 a year by 2025. I think that's a meaningful investment in trying to attract and retain good educators. So I'm hopeful that all of you who are hearing this will reach out to your legislators, if it's not me or if it is me, and let me know, that you support that if you do, or let me know what you think I should be focusing on, because one of the most important things that we can do as legislators is listen. So with that, STEM, the importance of STEM. This is an easy one, right? And folks have already talked a lot about it. They've talked about, the importance to the workforce, the importance to Michigan's economy, how critical it is if we want to, build the cars of the future, that we educate folks in these STEM fields. And that's important to me too. But what's also important to me is the power that STEM education has to give young people that joy of learning, that thirst for innovation, that agency that they get when they understand how something really works, right? Our kids are every day engaging with technology. They're engaging with products. And when they learn that they could be the ones that develop those products, when they learn that they're the ones who could make that robot work, that's inspiring to them. That gives them the sort of agency that they need in their life to be successful. And so, when I think about STEM education and the importance of it, I think about the importance of STEM education to my own children, right? I think about the look in my son's eyes when he's talking about his PLTW classes, when he's talking about, the opportunities he's had to work with robotics in schools. He's genuinely excited. And that's what gets me so excited about STEM education. Because if we're going to be successful here in Michigan with education, we need to inspire kids. We need to give them a joy of learning. We need to make them believe that learning is cool. It's important, it's fun, and it's cool. And that's what all of you are doing. And then that's what's so exciting about these STEM fields, is because they give students that opportunity for the hands-on learning, that hands-on learning that's exciting. So, I wanted to be here again to celebrate these awards with all of you. I'm incredibly thankful for the work that all of you are doing to educate kids, not just because it's important to Michigan's economy, but more so because it's important to those kids in their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Irwin. And I learned something even just now. As you can tell, I don't talk in front of a podium very often, so I was bending over, and he's a pro at it. So I'm going to stand up straight. I'd like to introduce Megan Schraben. She's the Executive Director for the MiSTEM Network. She holds a BS in Physics and Mathematics Education from the University of Michigan and a Master's of Applied Science from Michigan Technical University. During her 10 years at these institutions, her passion for integrated instruction grew out of a research internship at CERN in Switzerland, Fermilab near Chicago, the NSTL at MSU, and a teaching engineering position in Santa Cruz, Bolivia. Prior to coming to the Department of Technology, Management, and Budget, Megan taught high school physics and math in Jackson, Michigan, was the director of the Mathematics and Science Center in Jackson County, where she also served as president of the Michigan Mathematics and Science Centers Network, then moved to the Michigan Department of Education, where she was the integrated instruction consultant, and currently serves as the director at large for the Council of State Sciences Supervisors. Obviously very qualified for her role. Please welcome Executive Director Schraben.
Tough acts to follow, and I don't need to add any more statistics to their pieces, especially since I realize I'm between you and dinner, and that's always the coveted space to be when you're a speaker. So I'd actually like to speak a little bit about why we're really here to honor these educators and the students here today. You never know when the opportunities that you take advantage of in your career or as a student may take you to another space. And also, at some point, Scott, I'm going to need to update my bio for you because I think this was an old one. I'm actually Department of Labor and Economic Opportunities, so just if you're looking for where MiSTEM sits. But as a female growing up on a farm, living in a rural community, fortunately, I had parents who were educators and was exposed to these opportunities all along. But actually, what got me that first job to go to Switzerland and work at CERN as one of only 10 students in the US that were chosen was because I knew how to do needlepoint. Right? I walked into a physics professor's office, and I had him for my introductory course at U of M, and I was like, I really like the way he teaches. I wasn't going to be a physics major. I was actually going to be a math major, and I was like, he is playing with toys all day long up there, and that's the kind of teacher I want to be. Right? And when I walked into his office, I was like, I didn't do any research ahead of time. I really should have come more prepared. I had no idea what experiments he was working on, but I was like, I know I want to work for this guy. And when I walked into his office, the first thing that impressed me was half of his bookshelves were covered in how to teach books, and the other half were covered in physics research. And I said, wow, he actually cares about how he's teaching with us, right? And so I sat down and I was like, Professor Campbell, I'd really like to work for you. I feel like as a up-and-coming educator, I really need to know what physics professionals do in the real world. And he said to me, he looked up and goes, any chance you know how to do needlepoint? That was my interview. And I said, why, yes. I've been in 4-H for years. I've sewn, I've done cross-stitch, I've crocheted. That wasn't needlepoint, right? But it uses needles. And he was like, you're hired. And what I figured out is that I'm a female in a male-dominated area, and when I walked in, the males were damaging his circuit boards. And so I had the dexterity to solder the circuit boards. I was like, oh, okay. But that opportunity, that part walking in, he not only inspired me as a future educator, but also a student. right? He believed in me to go to that next step. And he came to me 3 years later and said, hey, there's this opportunity to go to CERN. And I was like, yeah, it's a research experience. And he goes, well, you can do research experiences. He said, just because you're planning to go into education doesn't mean that you shouldn't have this research experience. And I said, well, they're only choosing 10 students out of the entire US. Like, why me? And he was like, because you're going to be leading our next generation. You can tell it still inspired me. So I want to say thank you to all the educators here, because you never know. Sorry, this is not, I guess I've forgotten how to speak publicly after 2 years of working from my office and just reading the notes that were, written out beforehand on this screen. But thank you for the work that you are doing every single day with our next generation.
Thank you, Megan. That was appreciated. Well, we are going to head into the mealtime here, but we want to give everyone an opportunity just to have, if you want, a little moment of silence, about 10 seconds, and I'm just going to do that now. There's a lot going on in the world, and just want to give you some time. All right, thank you, everyone. Dig in.
So I've had the personal privilege of knowing Shamar for over 4 years now due to my board involvement with Michigan Works Southeast.
I'm honored that I get to introduce him tonight as our keynote speaker. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, Shamar learned very quickly that he had options. He could let his unfavorable surroundings dictate his future, or he could forge his own path. Shamar chose the latter and began working hard towards his success. After growing 6 inches in one summer, Heron knew his passion for basketball could help him achieve his goals. After a long process, Shamar chose to attend the Ohio State University, where he helped lead his basketball team to the NCAA Final Four in 1999. While he saw minimal time on the court, he was a consummate and dependable teammate. That skill is one of his best traits, and I've experienced it firsthand in the business world. As the executive director of Michigan Works Southeast, Shamar leads teams that focus on helping people craft and achieve their goals toward a career and connecting talent to business needs. Shamar also serves as a liaison between executive thought and day-to-day outputs. His background in economic development, mentoring, and data analysis allows him to play in a variety of arenas. Shamar appreciates the opportunity to speak at the MiSTEM Educator of the Year event. Please give a hearty hand of applause for our keynote speaker, Shamar Heron.
So, good evening. This is a little interesting up here. Chris may be the next one up, so he'll know the experience of this microphone situation. But again, my name's Shamar Heron, Executive Director of Michigan Works Southeast. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here for these awards. First, I'd like to give a big shout out to Scott Heister and his staff for all the tireless work that they've done to put this event together. So can we give Scott and his team one more round of applause? I also want to give a shout out to the award winners. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to hearing your story. And lastly, can we give one last great big round of applause to the staff here at the Kensington Hotel. So Scott said, you know, Shamar, come up here and tell your story, make it good and be honest. And I said, cool. So over the next hour and a half, you're going to hear about me and learn all of the facets of my life. So don't worry. But no, I'll be up here about 15 minutes. But in that time I'm up here, you're going to learn a little bit about my journey, and hopefully it'll have some sort of impact on yours. So here's where I start. COVID is a liar, okay? You cannot live in a bubble. We have to meet face to face and engage and build out our networks. We are all retraining our brains in psychology to trust people again. Can we agree to that? All right. I saw some of you hesitant. You didn't know where you to shake hands, elbows. Some of us, we haven't seen each other in ages. You want to give someone a hug and you're fighting against it. But we're all going to have to relearn together. So what I say is, this is a little bit of a corny pun, but we all must invest in each other to gain maximum long-term dividends, okay? You are not an island, nor am I, quarantined off from the rest of the world. We are each a vital piece in this thing called life. So, be bold, be humble, be curious, and lastly, be kind. See, I could easily walk around and look down on people. Get it? 6'10", right? Okay. Bars. I'm 6'10" and could easily believe I have an advantage. Truth of the matter is, I have many of the same feelings of inadequacy, value, and stability as many of you do. I have learned that we are all human, and there is a human element to life. For instance, no one throws their pants up in the air and jumps into them, right? We all put our pants on how? One leg at a time. They say you can be whatever you want to be, and I say that's BS, okay? You can be whatever you invest your mind, body, and spirit into, not some random thought or daydream. Life is what you make it, and I ask, what are you willing to commit to? I bet some of you believe, because I'm up here speaking to you, that I've lived this charmed life. Well, let me give you a couple of facts. I grew up poor in the city of Detroit, not complete poverty, but poor enough where I ate beans and rice several times a week for many years. I think it helped with the height. So that decadent chicken, beef, or squash ravioli dish that you're enjoying right now was about as far away from my plate as Pluto was. And I know we have some scientists here, so we're going to argue whether Pluto is a planet or a star some other time, all right? So let's get into some of the meat of the matter of how I ended up here today. I failed the 6th grade. Some of us called it flunking. So educators, relax, untighten your jaws. I had to start as a 6'5", 6th grader. I failed and had to start all over again. So then I became a 6'7", 6th grader. My values were off. See, I'd rather play Super Mario Brothers on my Nintendo than to focus on my studies. Who had a Nintendo? The original. I'm talking, right? The cartridge, yes, yes. Up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start, yes? Okay. Yes, I had some issues at home, but they were not enough to derail my education. I chose to do what I call mid-prioritizing, meaning I put all the wrong things ahead of the long-term important things, like education, networking, and developing the ability to focus. I was tall, dark, and way too opinionated as a youngster. That was not a recipe for success. The truth of the matter is, the great Creator gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Why? So that we can listen twice as much as we talk. I'm going to repeat that. The great Creator, and I'll say my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should be listening twice as much as we're talking. Now, I still struggle with the shutting up piece and listening, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it, right? But the truth of the matter is, I was graced through that experience of failing in the 6th grade with a renewed focus thanks to some very pointed conversations with friends and family. After that incident in the 6th grade, I honed in on my grades and my self-esteem and got myself together. I did well through the rest of middle school and high school and was able to pass the ACT or SAT. It's been a while, I forget. With flying colors, when other athletes would ask, "How did you do it?" I simply told the truth. The first thing I did, I asked my mother to buy me a desk. She bought it. The second thing I asked her to do was buy me a light for that desk. And then on my own, I made enough money to purchase an ACT prep book. And I committed to that thing over the next 2 months, where I locked myself in my room and I studied like my life depended on it. And that's because it did. I knew my parents didn't have the means to send me off to school, and basketball was becoming my primary option for going to college. I got a passing score, and so many colleges recruited me, I got scared. I got so scared that I got focused. People often ask, "Why did you choose Ohio State?" And I say to people like Rich Chang, that's the Ohio State. Okay? And I said it's simple. I wanted to play in the Big Ten. I didn't want to be too close to my mom and family, but I didn't want to be too far. I valued education and the pursuit of scholar. OSU offered all of that, including a chance to learn something I want to share with you all. See, you all are unique, just like everybody else. I learned at OSU there was a lot of 6'9" guys that were 250 and had a 35-inch vertical. Soon enough, I learned I need to take my hind parts to the library and make basketball my secondary option, and it proved to be a wise decision. Later, I went on to be an intern in the mayor of Detroit's office, Mayor Dennis Archer. Then I found myself sequencing DNA at the University of Michigan Medical School because of my strong science background. I knew that wasn't a long-term fit, so I took a chance and became an intern at 30 years old and had a beautiful wife and family. I was a 6'10" intern, 30 years old, working with now Senator Jeff Irwin, but he was a commissioner at the time. What happened at Washtenaw County was an amazing feat. It's where I met some of the most wonderful people who began to open doors for me. Remember when I talked about your network? It will equal your net worth, okay? I'm talking to our young people. It's about who you know, not always about what you know. So I ask, are you willing to step out and ask for help? And this is to my people who are still growing and learning. I won't call you young, I'll call you a young adult. And so I want you to listen up here. See, sometimes we're too cool and too cute to ask for assistance. We worry about what others will think. I say, screw that, all right? Go out, shake a hand. Put your hand out there, give someone a firm handshake. I know COVID, maybe we'll do an elbow or a fist bump, but put yourself out there and get comfortable putting yourself and being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. You need to learn how to be confident but poised and learn to ask for what you're looking for. So some of those simple questions may be, I need this. Do you know anyone who can help? What if I wanted to do this? How would you go about it? You know anyone who works in the field of nursing or chemistry or cybersecurity or infrastructure? Just ask for the help. You will be surprised how many people are ready and willing to help. FYI, this is about the halfway point of the speech, so you know, all right? Here are a few of the things I see we are starting to lack as a nation, and it boils down to these three basic things. A lack of reverence for those that are older than us, a lack of inquisitiveness, and a false sense of accomplishment. You see, nothing in life is forever. We all have an expiration date, no matter what your age is. This thing is not forever. And it leads me to a poem I once heard, and it really touched me. It's called The Dash by Linda Ellis. Bear with me. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the date on the tombstone from beginning to end. He noted the first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For the dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little dash is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live our life and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard, and are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If you could slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remember the special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? That's Linda Ellis. I had a science teacher in Detroit, Dr. Sharon Lee. I hated Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee would do stuff like this. She'd give you your assignment, you get the scribbling, and you're writing, and you're writing, and you're writing, and you think you're doing something, you got magic for her, and she would look at it, and she'd say, unacceptable. And she'd either throw it at you or throw it right in her garbage can. You work so hard, and you really believe what you're giving this lady is your best effort. She saw it otherwise. She saw one who didn't focus, who didn't prepare themselves. And she forced you to become a different person. And here's the 3 things I now love about Dr. Lee. She pushed us beyond our own personal beliefs. She forced us to question and re-question our work until we had supreme faith in it. When we got it right, she showed us agape love, meaning whole love, from the bottom of her heart. She was pushing us to be better people. And when I saw her at a friend's wedding, I said, Dr. Lee, I couldn't stand you. She said, so what you doing with yourself? And I explained. She said, it worked. It worked. So thank you, Dr. Lee. I heard this saying, never has technology moved this fast, and never will technology move this slow again. So we are living through the next industrial revolution. It's called Industry 4.0. Some of you, like my good friend Rich, would call it IoT, which is the Internet of Things. We are watching cars move away from traditional fuels into a space where they're using more sustainable sources. We are watching our clothing be comprised of all sorts of new materials. Take my shoes, for example. They're made out of recycled plastic and dandelion rubber, believe it or not. We are capable of seeing and talking to someone on the other side of the planet via a device about this size. We have learned that data is the new currency, so be careful what you're clicking on and signing on to when you join these various platforms. For each of you, don't get caught up in the fool's choice, believing you only have one choice between this or that. That's not true. The fact of the matter is you have infinite choices. It's no longer about college or the trades. You can do both. Don't box yourself in. Know that a bachelor's degree is a nice thing to have, but so is the ability to read a tape measure, level the foundation of a home, or operate a $1 million piece of equipment. A skill is a skill, so go find the right one for you. With all of that technology I just spoke of, there is one universal truth. We still need each other. When you're sad, mad, happy, or afraid, you still reach out to that trusted friend, colleague, and if you're fortunate enough, mom or dad. It's called the human element. You see, no robot or cobot can replace the feeling you get when you connect to another human being. There is no app for a good old gut-busting laugh or a hug. So as I wrap this up, I want to give you all a few departing words to ponder on as we leave this space. Number one, be mindful of your thoughts as they become your words, and your words become your actions. You can tear down or you can build up. There is an old native saying, number two, there is an old native saying that goes like this. You have two wolves inside of you, a positive one and a negative one. Which one grows? The one you feed. Okay? Number three, be kind, be compassionate. You never know what someone else is going through because we are all going through something. Number four, go be daring. Step out on a limb, try something new. Say yes a little bit more than you say no. And see where it takes you. And lastly, this is my favorite. Slow down, take your time, and relax. Again, my name is Shamar Heron, Executive Director of Michigan Works Southeast. It was nothing but an honor and a pleasure to be up here. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of the night.
Can we get another round of applause for the Shamar Heron? Yes. I have to say, I think it's safe to say that it was inspiring, powerful, insightful, and there's so many great points out of that, such as 2 ears, 1 mouth. I know I can definitely improve on that. Being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And the great thing is, because of the benefits of STEM, this is being recorded, and we'll be able to reflect and review this later on as much as we want. So thanks, Shamar, and thank you to Tech, part of STEM. And now for the moment we have been looking forward to, the awards. Note that some of the awards this year, we will be having a 2021 and a 2022 awardee. It's because, well, as we know, last year the event had to get canceled because of that thing called COVID. Also of note, one, you can see the awards are beautiful. Well, we also got a special awesome gift from Senator Peters, where he's actually provided authentic certificates of honor from his office. So all the awardees will also receive one of those. So first up, the WCC STEM Scholar Student Scholarships. These scholarships help students attend the WCC STEM Scholars Program. The WCC STEM Scholars Program was created to encourage, support, and facilitate success for students interested in STEM careers and seeking degrees in STEM disciplines. This bridge program offers WCC STEM scholars comprehensive social, academic, and financial opportunities. These scholarship awardees were randomly chosen from current WCC STEM scholar applicants. Please welcome our presenters for the WCC STEM Scholar Student College Scholarships. Dr. Victor Vega, Dean of Math, Science, and Engineering Technologies at WCC. While his career has led Dr. Vega to college administrative roles, he maintains a passion for the classroom and has taught at least one mathematics class at every position he held. Dr. Vega is attracted to the opportunity of making impact on the world at the community college level and views community colleges as being on the front lines of preparing our children by working one-on-one with students, supporting them and helping them achieve the dream of earning their degrees because education is the great equalizer. Also, from our WCC STEM Scholars Program, Susan Dentel. She's part of our professional faculty, life sciences, and STEM Scholars Coordinator at WCC, and also Amy Carpenter. Who is our Coordinator of Instructional Support, Arts and Sciences Division at WCC. If the three of you could please come up.
Yeah. All right, so I want to make sure I don't trip. All right. Do you want me to do the talking?
We are backup and you are our lead.
All right. So this is a hard thing to follow. I have to follow Shamar. Where are you? I have to follow you. Anyways, I'm going to do humor because that's the best I can do under the circumstances. All right, so, all right, I had some things written, but I think I'm going to be like Rose. And I think I'm just going to go off the cuff with my heart. So every year we provide a STEAM Week scholarship. And we do a random draw from our STEM scholars and then a random draw for a high school student, and I am just so excited to, this table right here has all of our award winners, and you know, we had COVID last year and we weren't able to do this dinner, and so I am going to be awarding here tonight our 2021 scholarship recipients. Jennifer Barney, who was from Belleville High School, she could not be here. And then our own Zuri Taylor, who was from, actually Zuri, I have a lot of love in my heart for Zuri. Zuri, can you come up here, Zuri? Zuri is studying math and science. Come on up. Come on up. Zuri's studying math and science, and she's from the 2019 STEM Scholars Cohort. And let's see, what else do I want to say here? Zuri, oh yeah. So Zuri went on a conference to Anaheim, California, for a biomedical conference that was for minority students. It was just incredibly awesome. And she is so articulate and so creative, and I just want to say congratulations, Zuri. Will you say something? Come on.
Yes. Hello. I don't have anything written. I was not prepared, but Susan and the whole WCC has been absolutely amazing. Having just an intimate place where you can't run out of help. Like there's always someone around the corner that's just waiting to help you when you fall down, or if you feel like you're not believing in yourself, or just a pat on your back or anything. Everyone has been so helpful, smiles and tears. I don't know how many times I've emailed her, and everyone's just always been so amazing. I'm so grateful for everyone here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Zuri. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming up.
Oh, all right. And we want to get on to our 2022 scholarship recipients. And I'm going to start with Noah, who I just met today. And Noah is actually interested in engineering. And I said, you got to join the STEM Scholars. And his parents, I said, isn't this a little strange coming here to all these people you don't know? But Noah was the lucky winner. Come on up, Noah. You want to say something?
I'm not really good with speeches, but I guess I could take this opportunity, and I just want to thank WCC for providing me with this opportunity so I can be able to succeed in my future, and that's what I'm trying to focus on right now. and my LADs are not looking so great, but I can try and try better, and it still won't get me there. But if I focus on my goals, and if you focus on your goals, then they can get you anywhere. They can get you across the world, or yeah, basically. So thank you.
Thank you, Noah.
And last but not least, Ajane Harris. Come on up, Ajane. Ajane is also a math and science major. She also went on this particular conference that I just mentioned. She's part of the 2019 STEM Scholars cohort, and her younger sister, Amaria, is also a STEM scholar. We're starting to see multi-generations of STEM scholars in our group. So, Ajane, will you?
All right, so I'm not really good at this, but I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity and all the things that Susan has done for me over the years and being in the STEM Scholars program. Like, I don't know how many times I've emailed her like Zuri, like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what I'm going to do. But once I got in and got acquainted with it, I had to bring my little sister on. She's also a STEM major, and it was like, you have to join this program, and yeah, so, yeah.
We're proud of you.
All right, I am going to get down from here, but I want to just say thank you. I know I've been saying thank you too many times, but I want to say thank you to the team that we joined up with Campus Explorer this time for STEAM Week. And so Janelle and Steve, will you please stand up? Steve Bloomfield and Janelle Franklin and Linda Blakey, please stand up. She's been... and Scott from MiSTEM, thank you. And Amy and Victor. And then I also, Alexi and Tracy and Eric, can you guys stand up, please? These people have been helping students in part of this STEM program from the very beginning, mentoring, advising, and Paola, you too. You thought I was going to miss you, didn't you? Okay, so it takes a village, like Victor just said. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, and congrats to Zuri, Jennifer, Ajane, and Noah. Just a note that we do have these wonderful awards for you. What we'll do is we'll go through the award ceremony and then hand them out and take pictures afterwards. So now for the WCC Bridge Award. The WCC Bridge Award is an annual appreciation acknowledging a high school staff member who helps students bridge the gap from their high school to WCC. This award will be presented by Steve Bloomfield. Steve Bloomfield has served as the manager of student recruitment and outreach at Washtenaw Community College for 4 years and has spent nearly 30 years working in higher education in a variety of roles spanning athletics, admissions, academic advising, Greek life, and judicial affairs. Please welcome Steve Bloomfield.
I needed Victor here to help me up that stair. I don't know where he went. It's okay, Victor, I got it. I just want to say quickly how thankful we are that our recruitment and outreach department have been able to work with all these incredible people. The Campus Explorer event is typically a fall event, and it's a huge deal, and we really, really work hard with academic divisions in order to make it happen. And it's geared towards 9th through 12th graders. And we just sort of thought about it, and thanks to Linda, we were able to really consider what we were doing in Campus Explorer in the fall, and then we saw how much what we do is connected to STEAM Week and the efforts that we put forth there. And so this is our first year working together, and it's just been amazing. And Janelle's been amazing too. Janelle's just like, I'm left-handed, she's my left hand, so it's just great. We have a great group, and I'm looking forward so much to next year. As Richard said, my name is Steve Bloomfield, and really excited to be here this evening to present announce the Bridge Award. It's been a true pleasure to work at WCC these past 4 years. As a manager of student recruitment and outreach, I get to work with and partner with outstanding faculty, staff, and administration. And we strive to offer the highest caliber education we can for students, and I'm proud of that. We have a great diverse population of students, and we have incredible dedicated people who work with them every day. It's also been an amazing experience for me to work with the various partners, external partners, high school principals and administration, and the faculty, and definitely the counselors. In recruitment and outreach, we work quite a bit with the counselors. The Bridge Award actually was duly created by recruitment and outreach, and then also our onboarding, our orientation team. And it's really this. It's its fourth year of existence, and it really came from a sincere place of wanting to recognize our high school counselors and staff who work so hard each and every day, tackling multiple complex challenges, helping students navigate their academic and personal paths, and providing guidance and support through that age-old question, what do I want to do with my life? We've already had some exceptional winners of our Bridge Award, and this year is no different. Our process for selecting the award winner comes from our first-year undergraduates, so our folks who graduated in 2021. Janelle and her work sent out an email form and asked these students to share the story of their high school experience from a staff member who significantly helped them on their path toward becoming a WCC student. This year, we received a submission from a first-year student. Her name's Anastasia Frederick. She graduated from Saline High School. Anastasia said this about her high school counselor. My counselor helped me build my bridge to WCC, first through dual enrollment. And then she came on and said that her experience through dual enrollment, that throughout that whole time, the counselor was there asking questions, was there to support her. And honestly, and at the end of the day, it was her and her support that helped her connect that bridge to becoming an undergraduate student at Washtenaw Community College. And so I thought that was really cool. And we actually went out and we had the opportunity to speak to their school principal, colleagues, and even current students from Saline, and all speak about the amazing commitment and sincere concern this year's recipient has for students and their educational journeys. Tonight, in recognition of Educators in STEAM Week, Campus Explore, we wanted to make sure that we announced our bridge winner, but we're going to do something a little different this year. Our winner is not here with us this evening, but in speaking with Celine's principal, we're going to go surprise her at her next staff meeting in front of all of her colleagues, and we're going to present the award at that time. So you're not allowed to say anything, if you guys can, mum's the word. But we're really excited about it. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and the principal's very excited about it. But still, for this evening, this is a perfect time to introduce this particular candidate or this winner. If we could just recognize the 2021 WCC Bridge Award winner. Her name is Michelle Monahan. And this is her award. Thank you. Oh, I'm having problems. Thanks, Richard.
No worries. And to help with keeping the secret, I will not repeat their name. Next up is the STEM Integration Educator of the Year. This award recognizes an educator who primarily teaches elementary students or outside of traditional STEM-based fields and who has a consistent record of integration of STEM principles and high-quality STEM-related experiences for students, focusing on the last 3 to 5 years' accomplishments. The awardee receives a $1,000 grant to help expand STEM experiences for their students, school, and community. For our 2021 STEM Integrator Educator Year Award, that actually goes to Joseph Walsh. Unfortunately, Joseph wasn't able to attend, but he's actually from the Manchester Community Schools. There are some personal reasons which is why he can attend, but we would like to still take this time to publicly congratulate Joseph, and we'll make sure that his award and grant are presented to him at a later date. Big round. Well, we'll just give him a hand of applause, right? All right. Now for our 2022 STEM Integration Educator of the Year Award, please welcome our award presenter, Katie Ramirez, co-teacher, Airport Community Schools.
Hello. So it is my honor to present this award to one of my dearest friends and the most dedicated and engaging teacher I have ever worked with. Chrissy Gilkerson is one of a kind. She works hard every single day to give her students a unique STEM experience. Chrissy goes out of her way to attend as many STEM professional developments and conferences as she can to be the best teacher for her students. I am excited to present the Michigan STEM Integration Teacher of the Year Award to Chrissy Gilkerson.
Congratulations, Chrissy.
I just wanted to say what an honor it is to receive this very special award, and thank you to my family, my good friend Katie Ramirez, and the Krimmel family for being here today. I have been a STEM teacher for 5 years now at Airport Community Schools. I see young fives all the way to 4th grade in 4 different elementary buildings. I have the pleasure of working with over 800 kids a week and managing 32 Google Classrooms. Let's just say I'm exhausted by Friday, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Out of my 21 years of teaching, my current job is probably the most rewarding. I have the ability to watch kids grow weekly, monthly, and as they continue through their grade school career. I see kids' eyes light up when they solve engineered design problems. I watch them laugh when their project aha moments don't turn out as expected and they turn to their neighbor to receive help. The kids love designing, creating, and making in my class. I can only hope that they are as inspired to love STEM as much as they inspire me. Thank you.
Congratulations again. And now for our STEM Educator of the Year awards. This award recognizes an educator for a consistent record of outstanding teaching and related activities in STEM fields, focusing on the last 3 to 5 year accomplishments. The awardee receives a $1,000 grant to help expand STEM experiences for the student, school, and community. Our 2021 STEM Educator of the Year presenter is Jim Carcraft, Superintendent of Clinton Schools.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to introduce Ron Schaffner, who is the 2021 MiSTEM Educator of the Year. I've known Ron for 6 years, as long as I've been the superintendent in Clinton. Ron is in his 28th year in education and has spent his entire career in Clinton Community Schools. Pretty amazing. Ron's hands-on, minds-on approach to teaching science is just amazing to watch. He teaches science, math, physics, chemistry, and engineering. In his spare time, he prepares our students for academic competitions. And he has developed teaching methods that are both rigorous and challenging, as well as fun for students. The Clinton Community Schools Red Wolves are well known for their fierce competitive spirit in sports. Ron has instilled, along with his secondary education counterparts, in our students a fierceness to compete not only academically, but also to go out and pursue areas in STEM that they're interested in. For example, our students have received recognition for the Governor's Cybers Challenge, U.S. Navy Sea Perch, Michigan Design Prize Competition, Square One, mini IVD competition. There, I got it right tonight. And it's just his passion for getting our kids involved in those activities. Our students graduate and are attending prestigious engineering schools, such as The Ohio State. Okay, I had to say that, Ron. Ron's a big fan. University of Michigan, William & Mary, MSU, University of Toledo, and recently one of our students received not only one appointment, but 2 appointments to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, and then also an appointment to Annapolis U.S. Naval Academy. Outstanding accomplishments of his students based on Ron's dedication. Ron's involved in professional organizations such as the National Science Teachers Association and the Michigan Science Teachers Association, which will be honoring him tomorrow night, back-to-back awards as the MSTA annual Michigan High School Science Teacher of the Year at their annual conference. Ron is humble. He hates this. I'm just got to tell you. But he's not only humble, but he's a dedicated educator, and an outstanding parent to his children, and a good family man. He often goes above and beyond to seek funding opportunities to develop exciting programs, and I am honored to work with him and introduce Ron Schaffner. Congratulations, Ron.
Well, as Jim said, this is not my favorite thing to do. I am thankful, though, to MiSTEM, to Scott specifically, for all the details that go into preparing an event like this, as well as WCC. STEM is an integration of lots of different aspects, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, as well as the arts. And I look at where I'm at as an integration, as Sharon mentioned, of lots of people and relationships. I taught chemistry, physics, calculus, trig, and about 6 years ago, my administrator pushed me to start a STEM class. Each of my classes has academic competitions involved, and kids wanted more time to work on them, so he pushed me, instead of having them work in the back of the room, to actually make a class. And so our STEM class is built primarily around academic competitions. It gives kids an objective, a competitive objective. It drives the learning. And it's just been an amazing opportunity to work with a variety of groups from University of Michigan, underwater robotics, to Square One. Barb Land's here from Square One Education Network. We've worked with them for 10 years. Half of the competitions that we're involved with weren't my idea. And that's why this is kind of humbling, is because half of what I do comes from other people. We work with MDOT because one of our preschool teachers had a son who was involved with them. The Michigan Design Prize was a nudging from our superintendent. Our underwater robotics occurred because the previous sponsor in Detroit, the Navy, dropped out, and the University of Michigan decided to co-host with us. So something like this occurs because we have lots and lots of connections. Personal thanks to my mom and dad. The famous book, Everything I Know I Learned in Kindergarten, is more like everything I know I learned on a farm. I think everyone has to do this tonight. So if you're coming up, you've got to have an emotional moment. So thank you for getting us started. I learned from my parents' hard work, service. Half of what I do in my STEM lab, I learned because I knew what a 9/16 wrench was versus 7/16 after a few reminders from a parent. My family, my wife, my children, these things, we don't do what we do without that support system. From two superintendents, my first one, Mr. Prey, most people have an interview process where they are interviewed for an hour, you maybe come back for a second. My interview was a week-long teaching assignment, and then they had the second candidate come in and teach for a week. He sat in the back and wrote notes the entire time of what every kid in my class was doing and would give it to me at the end of every hour. Once I survived that, I could do anything. I would not be here tonight without Mr. Craycraft because my focus is kids. This is not my favorite thing in the sense of, as far as comfort goes. In front of kids, wonderful. So Mr. Craycraft is the only reason why I'm here tonight, because he sees the value in this kind of a thing, and it does reflect so much on our district, on our administration, fellow teachers, the community. So I would like to take, again, time to say thanks to MiSTEM, to WCC, and to Scott. Thank you.
Congrats again, Ron, and you did awesome. Our 2022 STEM Educator of the Year presenter is Lance Horwath, principal of Hudson Area School.
This story starts humbly. About 12 years ago, as the high school principal at Hudson Area Schools, we were headed into deficit and we were laying off staff. And I had to ask Jennifer Mason that tough question. Jennifer, can you teach chemistry? And she looked at me and gave me a look. I really can't even believe I'm still alive today. But Jennifer, like the true professional she is, she took it head on. She prepared diligently to become the best she could in that craft. and that's Jennifer. She wants to be the best she can be for her students. When Hudson added our Center for Science and Industry after we came out of deficit a few years later, and I transitioned to the principal of that building, it was my honor to ask Jennifer to come over and teach STEM courses in our building, and she continues to do that today. Project Lead the Way courses in engineering and cybersecurity, and she is a leader in the robotics teaching in not only in our district, but in our county. She basically holds the robotics competitions for the county now, and we just get out of her way. She's a master teacher for Project Lead the Way. She's spent countless summers throughout the country teaching other teachers how to integrate those engineering concepts in their classrooms. She really works hard with our other teachers in our building who teach mechatronics and carpentry, and they try to incorporate projects together. She has been one of many who have really made an unbelievable small school like Hudson so unique and gives so many opportunities for our students. So I'm really proud to present the MiSTEM Educator of the Year to my friend Jennifer Mason.
Okay, I was tearing up already. I wasn't really expecting that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Clearly can't do this on our own. I do have a short little speech tonight, and my topic is failure. And that sounds like a unusual topic for an educator, especially one who's getting such an awesome award. But I truly believe that I would not be here without my belief that failure is a learning process. So when I first started teaching at SMCSI, or CSI is what we call it, I did not have much experience with engineering, and I had zero experience with manufacturing, but I decided to go ahead and give it a try. And it was fun, most days. It was messy and chaotic. It was also very liberating, because as I taught my students the engineering design process, I was able to integrate that into my own attitude about teaching and life in general, and it changed my perspective. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the design process, you always start with a problem. You brainstorm ideas, develop a solution, you build it and test it, you evaluate that, and then you present it. And if at any point along the way things aren't going well, or you get stuck, or your testing reveals a flaw, you go back a step or two or three, and you get to try again. So I teach this to my students, and it's a very powerful thing for them. I have taught robotics to students as young as 5th grade, and they get tired of hearing me say things like, there's as much unbuilding in robotics as there is building. And they don't always believe me, but by the time they have taken apart a component 5 or 6 or 25 times, they really start to take that onto themselves. And it's very powerful. When we have our competition, I have students from all of Lenawee County. We had 6 districts that attended our last competition. We all had the same rules to follow. We all had the same design constraints, but we all had very different robots. We all had very different success rates, and it is so exciting to see these kids get excited, because they will get excited about everything. Clearly winning, we get excited about that, but we get excited when we have our best run ever. We get excited when that wheel did not fall off, when it fell off the last round. We get disappointed sometimes too, because it is a competition, and there's disappointment in that. But almost every single time, at the end of the day, the kids come up to me and they're like, can I take your class next year? I already have an idea. And that is the design process in all of its glory. So when I sit here and talk about failure, I'm also talking about opportunity to learn and grow and learn new skills. I do have a saying that's on the wall in my room, that the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. And I really try and emphasize that in my classroom, that everyone, myself included, is there to make mistakes and learn. And hopefully my classroom is a safe place for those mistakes to happen. If you are ever interested in watching some of our mistakes, our next robotics competition is May 20th. I sent out the invites today to our county, including Clinton, and I've already got 3 responses back. They're like, count me in. So May 20th, smcsi.org, you can get details, and we would love to have you come visit and celebrate and watch with us. And if you give me enough warning, I might even find a volunteer job for you, because I'm always looking for that and recruiting people. Thank you very much. This is a very great honor.
Congrats again, Jennifer. And overall, congrats to all our awardees, and thank you also to our award presenters. I'd like to bring MiSTEM Region 2 Director Scott Heister up to the stand for some brief remarks, please.
Thank you. As I sit and look at the audience, and I understand we're about 10 minutes over here, so I will be quick. I wanted this year to really talk a moment about the partnership that we've built with Washtenaw Community College over the last 3 years, and specifically with Susan Dentel. Susan, if I could get you to come up, please. 3 years ago, we sat in a room with a couple of other people, and they had started this process, and we dreamed about what it could be. And this past week, if you go on the landing page for STEAM Week, I've been sending it out to many of you in this room. The quality of those that we brought to the community through our 6 counties over the last week is just overwhelming for the number of companies, businesses, individuals that come out to support this program. And it all started because we had a brief conversation. So I would like to give Susan a chance to also invite someone up. So Amy, get ready.
It's kind of amazing. And though Jennifer, what you were saying, I resonated with a lot. And also, Ron, is that right? Ron? And teachers in general. And it really, I'm in biology, and it really is about growth. And I'm not real comfortable either. I really mess up when I get in front of a group like this. But this idea of STEAM Week began as a very primitive thing, and I didn't know how it was going to go. I never imagined it would bloom into this, and that I would have such a great partnership with Scott and such a great partnership with all of these wonderful people. I want to call up someone really special, because she and I have been in a canoe together for a long time with life preservers. Amy Carpenter, please come up here. She is a behind-the-scenes woman, and she likes to stay behind the scenes, and she goes, Susan, you go out there and talk, and she does all this work and doesn't get acknowledged for all this work that she does. She works harder than anyone. Amy is the instructional support coordinator for the Math Science and Engineering Division, and Amy Carpenter, a long time ago, I was this little lone voice in the woods, and I didn't think anyone was listening to me, and Amy was running around doing everything, helping me to get things off the ground for these students, and all I can say is she's just incredible, and I could go on and on about Amy Carpenter. These guys know. They know. She would set up lunch and learns for our STEM scholars, and so this is for Amy. Okay.
And for you. So this year I wanted to give to the partnership, the great partnership that we have developed, an award. It's called the MiSTEM Critical Partners Award for all that these two have done, and for what WCC has done for MiSTEM and for the students in the community that is now broadened out to our 6 counties. We haven't looked at the data yet, but last year we had members of all 6 counties, teachers from all 6 counties that participated in STEAM Week. So I would like to thank everybody here. I know we still have one more closing speech, but congratulations to all of the award winners. It is absolutely humbling to read the work that is being done throughout our 6-county region. And I say this is the highlight of a year or the last 2 years for me to look around at the engagement and the lives that have been impacted by those who are sitting in this room. So thank you for all of your hard work and for everything you do for our students.
Thank you guys all so much. I'm behind the scenes.
Congrats again, Susan and Amy. All right, we are on the home stretch. For our closing remarks, I'd like to introduce Chris Mattis on behalf of Senator Gary Peters.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name's Chris Mattis. I work for U.S. Senator Gary Peters. I'm one of his regional directors here in the state of Michigan. I have the good fortune of working with communities in Wayne, Washtenaw, Monroe County. So unfortunately, I haven't, as I understand it, gotten to work with all of your districts, but see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces. It's wonderful to see your faces. I know that we're a little over time, and frankly, I'm a little bashful because we've had some wonderful, like well-spoken and well-worthied speakers today, this evening. But I really am happy to be here on behalf of my boss, Senator Peters, who I understand was able to share video as part of STEAM Week, and I appreciate that opportunity, but really does wish he could have been here himself to speak to you all and share how much he understands the importance that you do. Not only the students and the hard work that you're doing, planning for your future and figuring out how you're going to make it better for all of us, but the educators, the staff, the leadership in this room. You know, Senator Peters, his dad was a public school teacher, and he's a very future-focused individual, a curious guy himself. And I think a lot of the topics we talked about this evening transcend all the committees he works on, whether it's the Homeland Security Committee, the Armed Services Committee, or even the Commerce Committee. How are we working with one another? How are we keeping each other safe? How are we tackling challenges of the future? How are we moving goods and services? But more than anything, sitting here and listening to you all, I just honestly felt inspired. I felt encouraged, I felt inspired, I was proud to be a Michigander, I was excited to hear about all these teachers and the creativity and enthusiasm you all have for your students and the work that you do. And I guess one thing that I will say, not only does Senator Peters very much appreciate that and thinks about it and it motivates partially, you know, the work that he does there in the U.S. Senate, but frankly, as the father of an 18-month-old daughter who is curious and wonderful and busy and fast and a headache, but so beautiful. I hope she has teachers like you all. I hope she has teachers like you all that encourage her to try new things and be brave and, you know, take chances. Because I'm reluctant to do this, but I frankly need some of these lessons sometime myself. And one thing I can say is we've started watching some Sesame Streets, and I know Sesame Street is no substitution for an in-the-flesh teacher helping guide you and teach you. But Sesame Street teaches Maggie and it teaches me, and I appreciate you all for reminding me that when we confront problems in this world, as Sesame Street says, I wonder, what if, let's try. And so thank you for helping encourage that enthusiasm. Thank you for wondering with me and making me just, honestly, I'm going to be going home tonight feeling so good and hopeful. You make me feel good about where we are. It's been a hard time. And Senator Peters is thankful to support you, whether it's the, rescue funds in the heart of the COVID pandemic that helped, hopefully some improvements around education, buildings, facilities, what have you, helping you keep students and each other safe. But frankly, also through the infrastructure bill, expanding things like high-speed internet. We could talk all about that and how it's important, but I just really wanted to say thank you. And thank you for letting me be a part of this. So with that, please keep up the good work, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Chris and Senator Peters. All right, so we're pretty much at the end. But I do have one final housekeeping. For anyone that was an awardee, if you can come up afterwards, we'd like to get some pictures taken. So basically, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time tonight. It was great to see you all, especially in person. And congrats again to our awardees, but I cannot let you go without giving a whole bunch of thanks again. Thanks to our sponsors, Dr. Belanca and team, Megan, Senator Irwin, Shamar, Chris, all our speakers, and everyone involved with putting this event and this entire week together. Safe travel home, everyone, and thanks again.